Hi friends, my name is Subin and I'm from Korea. Please like and subscribe. When my mom was pregnant with me, so was her best friend.
When our kids are born, they'll be buddies just like us.
And Ben and I were growing up. He was my pal. One time, Ben and I were playing and he was running after me. Then he accidentally nudged me and I fell down the stairs. I hit my head. But before I could cry, Ben started wailing.
No, Subin! Oh my god, it's all my fault. Does it hurt? Let me pick you up. Gosh, you're heavy. Subin! Are you okay?
Ben? I'm fine, really. Saying that I hugged him. Ben was such a softie. I did get an infinity stone on my forehead, like Vision, but I didn't blame Ben. He was the best, and I wished we'd always be together. But when I was 5, Ben and his parents had to move to France for a work opportunity. And I missed him so much. As if things couldn't get any worse. Dad suffered a huge loss in his business soon after. Slowly, I saw how bad Mom and Dad's relationship was getting because of money problems. And after a few years, Mom left us. But Dad always tried to make me happy. We were so short on money that we had to shop at thrift stores, but he spent hours looking for the things I'd like.
Look at this jacket, Subin. It has rhinestones. You love rhinestones.
It is pretty, Daddy.
See? I told you we'd find some good stuff here.
Since I was a good student, I got a scholarship at my school and relieved Dad of that burden. I worked hard and was a top student. I needed to keep the scholarship. And when I was in the 10th grade, something awesome happened. Ben and his parents had returned to town and moved into a big mansion. And seeing Ben on the first day of school after summer vacation, my heart started beating fast. And then he swept me into his arms.
Subin! Oh my god, you haven't changed a bit!
But you have. You're so tall and whoa, so muscular. Ben and I were in the same class and we started hanging out together all the time. But I soon realized he was getting way too much attention from all the girls, especially Haran. And she was the worst. She acted like she owned the whole town just because her mom was the mayor. And to my horror, Ben and Haran soon started dating. I hated her. But for Ben's sake, I pretended to be nice, and she did the same. She acted like a saint in front of Ben, but not when he wasn't around. She'd do petty things like pull out the chair when I was about to sit, and she would always comment on my clothes and appearance.
I'm saying all this for your benefit. No one likes a girl who looks so poor.
I'd rather be poor than a jerk like you. Gosh, what did Ben ever see in that witch? One time for lunch, Ben had gotten the yummiest pizza, and we were enjoying it when Haran came and hugged him tight.
Oh, I missed you so much in art class. Why didn't you join it, Benny Wenny?
You know I'm a science guy, babe. Here, wanna have some pizza?
She refused, and then Ben packed the leftovers and told me I should take them home because he was full. Dad and I never ordered out much, and I was happy to share it with him. A few weeks later, it was Ben's birthday, and he invited me to his place. I saw how Ben and Haran were dancing so close to each other, and it made me feel so jealous. I went to the balcony for some fresh air. After a while, I was headed back inside when Haran and some of her friends came, and I hid behind a plant.
You've really got yourself a hot boyfriend this time, Haran.
Yeah, he's totally wrapped around my fingers. He adores me and gives me the best gifts. There's just one problem. His miserable beggar friend. Oh, I really hate her. You know, Ben cares for her so much that he gets her favorite pizza for lunch every day and pretends to be full so she can take the leftovers home. He really pities her and she has no shame. She could probably live on his charity forever.
Why would Ben tell her something like that?
What? So pathetic.
Wiping my tears, I just ran back home. After that date, I sort of ignored Ben, even though he asked me if something was wrong a million times. I just didn't need his pity or his charity. When we were in our senior year, our teacher announced a science tournament and the winning team was going to get an amazing cash prize. Dad and I could always use the money, so I immediately signed up for it and I was paired with Ben. I tried to get my partner changed, but the teacher said it was final.
So you wanna come over to my place to brainstorm some ideas?
No thanks.
Hey, Subin. I don't know why you stopped talking to me, but come on. This is a great opportunity. Let's do this together, please.
I knew Ben was a science genius and being paired with him was probably the best thing. So I reluctantly agreed. We came up with some really cool ideas and I ended up at his place almost every day to work on them. But I noticed how his mom was never around. A few times I asked about her, but he'd always ignore the question. But one time, Ben and I were at a park near his home, and he asked me the strangest question.
Subin, do you ever miss your mom? Does she call you? How does it feel to live with just one parent?
I never really thought about it. I guess it's not so bad knowing how much my dad loves me. It's not exactly a secret that we don't have much money, but he goes out of his way to make me happy. I don't know how to live with two parents, but the one I have, I love to bits.
That's really sweet, I asked because, well, my mom, she isn't well. She's going through treatment. Sometimes it's really hard to see her like that.
Oh God, Ben, I'm so sorry. I didn't know he was going through such a rough time.
Subin, why'd you stop talking to me?
Taking a deep breath, I told him what happened at his birthday party.
Subin, Heron kind of twisted my words. Yeah, I told her you guys were going through a tough time, but because you're my friend and I care about you, not because I pity you. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have discussed it with her at all.
Saying that he came close and swept my bangs aside.
You still have the scar. I was so scared that day. I'm so sorry, Subin.
Hey, it was a long time ago, and it kind of reminded me of you. When you were away, Ben looked at me like he might kiss me, but he suddenly snapped his fingers.
Bazinga! I just got a brilliant idea for our project.
And he sure did. Just a few more adjustments and our model worked. We came first at the science competition, and Ben gave all the prize money to me, saying I did the hard work. It wasn't true, and I knew he was just being kind. Why did such a nice guy have to be with Haran? But then Ben told me one day that he was going to break up with Haran soon. My heart was jumping with excitement, but I pretended to be sad. And when Ben broke it to Haran, the girl had a complete meltdown. She took a bat and smashed all the notice boards around the school during her psycho rampage. Haran suddenly spotted me and was coming right at me, but Ben stepped in between.
Stop making a fool of yourself, Heron. It's over.
You're doing this because of her! Because of this poor, ugly bimbo!
Subin's my best friend, and she's special to me. Don't insult her again.
Haran stomped off furiously, and I was left dazed. Ben just said I was special to him. Whoa. I was on cloud 9, and I just needed to confess my love to my best friend. I didn't have the guts to say it to his face, and we didn't have phones, so I wrote him a letter. Dear Ben, I saw you for the first time in kindergarten, and I've had a crush on you since. What I really want to tell you is that I love you a lot. Subin. During recess, I slipped the note in Ben's bag, but for some reason he got called to the principal's office in the last period. I kept wondering if he saw the letter, and when I got a reply the next day in my locker, I almost had a heart attack.
Dear Subin, I love you too. I was going to tell you, but I didn't have the courage. Let's meet at our spot tonight. I can't wait to kiss you. Ben.
It was like all my dreams were coming true. Wearing a new dress, I went to the park and waited for Ben. I was so excited and nervous. But suddenly I felt someone pull my hair and I landed on my butt. Heron!
Oh, a new dress for Ben! Ha ha ha! He ain't coming, sweetie. He showed us your letter and we're all in fits.
What? You're lying.
Oh no, I'm not. You really think he'd leave me for some poor beggar like you? In your dreams, girl.
Haran kicked me and suddenly I saw red and I pounced on her. But her friends got me off of her and then they all ripped my beautiful dress. I felt so furious that I punched Haran square in the jaw. What happened next was a disaster. Haran called her mom and made up a whole story about how I attacked her for no reason. And her mom made a case of assault against me and actually sent me to juvie for 2 months. My dad was devastated and so was I. Even worse, Ben never showed his face, not once. Coward! As soon as I got out, Dad and I left town. After weeks of interviews, Dad finally ended up finding a decent job, and I worked as a waitress too, while I studied in a community college. 4 years later, I graduated with a law degree at the top of my class. Luckily, I got hired by a law firm, and just a couple of years later, I became a junior partner. One day, I read a piece of news that filled me with joy. Haran's mom had been arrested for corruption during her time as mayor. The whole family was being publicly humiliated. They deserved it. Sometime later, my firm asked me to set up an office in my old town, and I was kinda glad to return. I wanted to show everyone what I'd made of myself. One day, I was busy doing some paperwork when Haran walked into my office asking me for a job.
Please, Subin, help me! No one in this town wants to hire me or my family for anything. I know I was mean to you.
Cruel, you were cruel to me.
Yes! Cruel and terrible! Please! Please forgive me!
After Haran begged for a job for days, I finally let her be my personal assistant. And she had to do literally everything I asked. I really made her suffer for a while. It was fun, but then it wasn't. Seeing her qualifications, I gave her a higher position.
Wow! I don't know what to say! Thank you! And this means you've forgiven me?
No, not really, but I'm trying to be a better person, better than people were to me.
Subin, I never wanted things to go so far with you going to juvie and everything. Mom just got carried away. I'm really, really sorry.
After that day, Haran was always nice to me, and so was I. I just didn't want to hold grudges. But one day, as I was walking out of a coffee shop, I bumped into a guy. It was Ben.
Oh my god, Subin, I've missed you. We need to talk.
Suddenly, the memory of him giving my letter to Haran came rushing back. No, stay away from me! But the next day, there were tons of roses in my office and a note from Ben telling me how he wanted to meet at our spot. What a jerk. But this kept happening every day for a week. One day, I got so frustrated that I started throwing them out the window. But Haran stopped me.
Subin, I need to tell you something, and it's gonna make you hate me even more. But I have to. Ben is completely innocent.
What are you talking about?
Ben never got your letter. I stole it from his bag and I lied that he showed it to me. I made all of that up, and he never showed up to see you because, well, he'll tell you everything. And again, I'm terribly sorry.
I drove to our spot in the park and saw Ben sitting on a bench. And I gave him a chance to explain. Turns out the day I put the letter in his bag, Ben got the news that his mom had suddenly gotten much sicker. And he flew to France with her for some treatment. He stayed there the next 3 months, and he said he called my place and wrote me letters, but he never got a reply. And when he returned, I'd already left town.
I looked for you a lot, but I had no idea where you were or why you'd left without a word, till Haran reached out to me some weeks ago and explained everything she did.
She just told me everything, too. I'm so sorry about your mom. I'm sorry I left without giving you a chance to even explain.
It's all in the past. There's only one thing I need to say to you now, Subin. The thing is, I've always...
Loved me?
Yes!
I've always loved you too, Ben, since forever.
My mom was a popular Italian actress. So right since I was a toddler, I was used to the paparazzi going berserk the moment I stepped out in public. And honestly, I loved being in the spotlight. Hello, guys! Ready for some new poses? I always knew I wanted to be an actress like Mom. So I begged her to take me to auditions. I'd get in front of the camera and everyone would go nuts.
Mamma mia, Isabella, you're a born actor.
Well, that was kind of true. Mom said I was a very expressive baby. And when I was in the 2nd grade, I pretended for a whole year that I was some celebrity whose life was being secretly recorded. Thanks to my natural acting skills, I was already a successful actress. By the time I was 15, my life was almost perfect. But things started going downhill quickly after that. Mom lost some film contracts to younger actresses, and she started getting plastic surgeries to look younger. A few of them went horribly wrong. Mom, what happened to your nose? You kind of look like the Joker.
Shush! I know what I'm doing, Isabella.
But Mom ended up looking so weird. No one wanted to cast her in their films anymore. This broke her heart. And she slowly transformed into this wild party animal who dated a new guy every month. And the worst part? She was blowing tons of money, buying expensive gifts for them. Mom, I just saw your boyfriend kissing one of our maids. He's a total jerk.
Oh, really? Then I guess I'll give that limited edition Rolex watch to my next boyfriend.
Mom kept going around with the biggest buttheads on the planet and spending money like water. Her falling reputation in film circles affected me too. And in a matter of a few months, we were both sitting at home with no work. Then Mom tried one business idea after another, but nothing worked out. And soon enough, we exhausted all our savings. Even the banks kicked us out, and all of our relatives turned us away. I was so angry at Mom for getting us into this mess, and the paparazzi were having a field day selling news about our downfall. But one night, Mom walked into my room and sat on my bed.
Isabella, I'm so sorry about everything. Oh, how I just wish that American business was in my name. That could have saved us right now.
What business?
I invested in a perfume business with my friend in the US a few years back, and it became really successful. But it's entirely in her name.
Why?
I didn't want to pay the taxes.
Oh my God, that was typical Mom.
Last year, I had a fight with her, and now that witch won't give me my share of the investment back.
What if I go to the US and talk to her? Mom loved the idea, and I took the next flight to the US. When I reached Mom's friend's house, she looked pleased to see me.
Wow, you're as pretty as your mom. Or as pretty as she used to be once.
Thank you? I think you know why I'm here.
Your mom and I are childhood friends, and you're very welcome in my house. Stay as long as you like.
But I'm talking about Mom's investment.
What's the hurry, Isabella? We'll talk about this unpleasant business later.
The next day, I kept trying to remind her of Mom's money, but she simply wouldn't talk about it. I knew this was not going to be easy, but I was determined to get our money back from that witch. One day, as I was leaving her study, I bumped into a boy around my age. I figured he was Mom's friend's son, and for some reason, he was dressed like Michael Jackson.
Hi, I'm Will, but I guess you already know that.
How would I know your name?
I know yours!
That's because I'm famous. Ugh, why is everyone here so stupid?
Hey, I'm not stupid. In fact, I might just be the solution to all your problems. Mom told me why you're here. I can help you get your money back in a month. Mom will do anything I say. Trust me. But on one condition.
And what's that?
You have to fake date me in front of my ex. She dumped me last month for another guy, and I'd love to show her that I'm with someone like you. You're a great actress. It shouldn't be a problem.
I stared at him and thought about it. Fake dating this weirdo wasn't something I was looking forward to, but I really needed that money. We have a deal. You'll get me my money in a month, and I'll make sure your ex eats her heart out and runs back to you. The next morning, I was nervous about going to a new school in a foreign country, but when I got there, kids practically jumped on me.
You're that Italian actress, Isabella, right?
I saw your toilet cleaner commercial. You looked like a goddess cleaning toilets with your perfect hands.
Just then, a guy took off his t-shirt and asked me to sign it. I obliged my fan happily, and soon, all the guys were doing that. I was loving this place. But just then, a teacher came and told everyone to put their shirts back on. What a buzzkill! I looked for Will to show me around school, but he simply disappeared. Sometime later, I found him in the cafeteria in a corner with a guy who seemed to be bullying him. There was a pretty blonde girl with them, too. The bully took out a paper from his pocket and started shouting,
"Attention, everyone. Here's a song that our lover boy Will once wrote. Mia, Mia, you're as sweet as honey. I'll buy you gifts with my money. Your hair is silky smooth. I even like your wisdom tooth."
The girl who I guessed was Will's ex looked really uncomfortable.
Stop it. You're embarrassing him.
But obviously that jerk just kept laughing and going on. I walked over and snatched the paper from him. Heck, what is wrong with you? You're such a rude donkey!
And Will, I didn't know you wrote so well. Babe, I'm so glad I met you in Italy last summer.
That caught Mia's attention.
Wait, last summer? As in before Will and I dated?
Don't worry, we didn't start talking again until an hour after you broke up. Mia turned red and walked away with her moron boyfriend.
Whoa! Did you see how jealous she looked? You're awesome!
Tell me something I don't know. By the way, that song was awful.
I promise I've gotten better since.
For the first time, I saw Will smile and noticed his cute dimples. The next day, Will turned up at school wearing a t-shirt with my photo printed on it, and it had Sugar Boo written in bold letters. And at lunch, he was standing on a chair in the cafeteria waving me over.
Isabella, the love of your life is here!
It was so freaking embarrassing. But just as I was pulling him down, Mia walked in. So I grabbed Will's collar and kissed him. Babe, I miss you so much. It's been 2 hours, 34 minutes, and 23 seconds since I last saw you.
Oh, my sugar boo. I'm sure it must have hurt when you fell from heaven. Is there an airport nearby? Or is my heart taking off?
God, he could win an Oscar for overacting. Later that day, I gave Will some tips on how to be a cool boyfriend. No more sleazy pickup lines or cringy songs.
But I read online that girls want their boyfriends to write songs for them.
Yeah, if they are good at it, which you are not, my friend. You just get me chocolates and flowers. Luckily, Will turned out to be a fast learner. We kept fake dating for a few weeks, and to be honest, it was fun. I even took him to the mall one day and gave him a complete makeover. The next day at school, I could see jaws drop when we walked hand in hand. Will was loving being popular, but the idiot was still hung up on Mia.
Our fake dating is working. I caught Mia looking at us 17 times today.
Come on, do you still want to date Mia? I don't think she's anything special. And with your new looks, any girl would go out with you.
Any girl? Will you go out with me? I mean, for real?
That question took me by surprise.
See, the problem is your life's always been so perfect that you have no idea what rejection feels like.
I wasn't rejecting you. And just so you know, my life is far from perfect. I'm here in a foreign country, miles away from home, just because my mom blew all our money, and I can't even land a movie role. But the point is, you deserve better than Mia.
Maybe you're right. Okay, now you stop frowning, or you'll get wrinkles on your pretty face.
He gently pinched my cheek, and for some reason, I felt butterflies in my tummy. Weird. A few days later, Mia surprised both me and Will when she came over and invited us to a party at her place. Will was excited to go, so I said yes. Mia had invited the whole class and we were having a blast dancing when suddenly a slow song started playing. Will pulled me close and we swayed to the slow beats. My heart was racing a bit and he smiled down at me with those adorable dimples. And suddenly he kissed me, and not like one of our fake kisses. I felt like the world around me had stopped. When he pulled back, I was breathless and I thought he looked shaken too.
Mia saw us kissing. I'm sure she must be burning with jealousy. Wait, she's coming our way. Be cool, Will.
Oh, so the kiss was for Mia. That shouldn't have hurt, but strangely it did.
Will, I wanted to talk to you for a moment.
He immediately let go of me and followed Mia. I just stood there like an idiot. When Will didn't return for half an hour, I went looking for him and found him in the kitchen washing dishes. Will, what's the matter with you? You left me alone for this?
Actually Mia's maid didn't turn up, so she asked me to help her. And guess what? She said she'd even think about getting back with me.
What? Suddenly, dozens of kids barged into the kitchen, along with Mia's boyfriend, who started recording Will on his phone.
Haha, this is your place, you loser. Can you come to my party next week? I'll pay you $50 to do the dishes.
Everyone started laughing, and just then Mia walked in too.
Stop it, you all! I asked Will to help me. He's just being a good friend.
But Will didn't say anything. He simply took off his apron and left. I decided to leave the party too, but suddenly Mia grabbed my arm.
Remember this. Will might pretend to like you, but I still have him wrapped around my finger. He'll do anything for me, and I can have him back anytime I want.
So you're just going to keep stringing him along? You're a witch, Mia! And guess what? When I was looking for Will earlier, I saw your boyfriend making out with another girl in the bathroom. And I wasn't even lying. Those two jerks deserved each other. When I reached home, I marched straight up to Will's room angrily. How do you feel making a complete fool of yourself?
Well, Mia did side with me.
Oh, stop it! Do you seriously think she wants to get back with you? She's manipulating you. Are you blind?
What's your problem? Don't you want me to get back with Mia so that you can just get your money and leave?
You're pathetic, Will. Know your own worth and have some self-respect, dude.
I don't remember asking you for a lecture on how to live my life.
Fine, do whatever you want. Date Mia, marry her, whatever. I don't care. I slammed the door hard and stormed off to my room. Idiot. The next day, I didn't even sit with Will at lunch, and I felt even madder when I saw Mia walk up to him.
Will, I broke up with my boyfriend. The jerk was cheating on me, and I was a fool not to realize how amazing you were. Can we get back together? I know you still care.
Well, I'm not too sure about that anymore. I'm done being your backup plan, Mia. Good luck with your life, but I'm not interested anymore.
Mia looked stunned, and Will just walked out. That was amazing. When I reached home that day, I found Will waiting for me in my room with an envelope in his hands.
You kept your part of the deal. Now it's my turn.
I took the envelope, and when I opened it, my eyes almost popped out. It was a check for $20 million. How did you manage to do this?
Let's just say I'm Mom's only weakness, so it wasn't that difficult.
Thank you. I guess now there is no reason for me to stay back any longer. Will looked at me and then spoke.
I guess there isn't. I'll drop you at the airport when you're ready.
Soon I flew back to Italy, and Mom and I started our own perfume business with that money. Thankfully, it took off, and I also started getting acting offers once things settled down. One day, while I was shooting, I noticed a familiar face in the crowd. A face I'd been dying to see again. Will, what are you doing here?
Listen, Isabella, I know I suck at writing songs, but I have to say this.
Oh, please, not a song.
Just listen. No matter what I do, I'm always thinking of you. You're stuck in my head like glue, and I think I'm in love with you.
You're such a doofus, Will, and I love you too. Hi, I'm Skylar from Chicago. Please like and subscribe. I think I decided when I was born that I liked my mom way more than my dad. That's probably because she's always saving me from my dad's crazy antics. Mom owned a pet shop in the neighborhood that had been in our family for generations. It was like the ultimate hangout for me and my besties when I was a little kid. Oh, and I've got a twin sister, Ellie, who's super close to Dad, no clue why. If there were an award for the messiest, most irresponsible guy ever, he'd surely win. And I'm totally grossed out by Dad's mess. Daddy, why did you throw your muddy boots on the sofa again?
Are you saying something, honey? I can't hear you.
Maybe you would if you stopped playing the video game.
Shut up! You're so annoying! Can't you let us have some fun, you parrot?
I threw the boot at Ellie when she said that. But I couldn't do the same to Dad because he was my dad. He works part-time as a delivery guy for a pizza place nearby. And when he's not doing that, he does nothing but play video games. And make a mess. But once when I was in first grade, he really went too far. He took Ellie and me to the playground. While we were playing on the slide, he went off to play football with some boys. Ellie and I didn't realize how much time had passed until it got dark. We got worried looking for our beloved dad, but we couldn't find him anywhere.
Skylar, Dad ditched us. I don't know the way back home.
I don't either, but it's okay. We have each other. We'll be fine. Then, I suddenly remembered the playground was near Mom's pet shop, and I took Ellie's hand and made my way there. Luckily, we got there just as Mom was closing up the shop to head home. She took us back fuming, and we found Dad on the couch in his muddy, stinky clothes playing games with a VR headset on.
Oh, I thought it was the sound of a monster showing up. Hurry up, ladies. Don't let the big man starve. It's dinner time.
He didn't even realize he'd left us at the playground. A huge fight broke out between them. It was the biggest one ever. And just like the saying goes, no man can ever win an argument with a woman, not even the messiest man alive. So the next day, Dad packed up his bags and left, saying he was moving in with his mom and, well, he never visited or came back. Ellie was super upset, but I was secretly relieved, and Mom seemed happier too. Good riddance. Men were the worst. Growing up, I even avoided talking to boys my age. I was totally convinced they were all just as messy and careless as Dad. Like once in 5th grade, the teacher made a boy sit next to me for a history class activity, and he was a total chatterbox. Worse, he messed up the order of all my markers.
Dude, why didn't we just keep moving on all fours?
Ma'am, where can I find a no-boys class?
It's not possible, Skylar. You'll have to learn to get along with everybody, yes, even the boys.
The boy grinned at me, and I grabbed a marker and crippled all over his face. The teacher called my mom, and I got a bunch of lectures. But nothing could change my mind. Boys were icky, and I hated them. Soon after, I discovered something I was really into, acting. I joined the drama club, and there I found myself fighting for the lead roles every year with a girl named Lily. I mostly beat her to them, and obviously she hated me. By the time we were in high school, all the boys knew I had sent a few chatterbox boys to the hospital, so they started to be scared of me.
Lily wouldn't stop annoying me about it. Who are you going to go to prom with? Your cat. Do you stay away from the boys because you know you're ugly and no one will like you?
Once, I walked into the girls' bathroom at the club while she was washing up and she shrieked.
Oh my god, are you trying to get a peek at me? I know you're into girls, but don't even think about me.
Yikes! No, even if I was into girls, I have good taste, Lily! But she spread rumors around the school that I had been staring at her body and that I might be hiding somewhere in the girls' locker room or bathroom.
Why don't you go and prove her wrong? Go on, just talk to a boy.
I'd rather sprinkle cat litter on broccoli and eat that.
Yuck, you're a savage and so weird.
Yeah, Ellie was nothing like me. She was really popular with the guys, and she was always dating one. And I was always afraid she'd end up choosing someone exactly like Dad. Once she was getting ready to go out with a boy I knew was a jerk. But she wouldn't listen to me, so I had to do something myself that evening. I opened the door when he knocked. So you're Mark! No, wait. She said he's hot. Are you Shane?
No.
He comes on a motorbike every time. You must be the rich donkey she was talking about?
What? She said that. And who are all these guys?
Who knows? Maybe it's those other donkeys. Maybe you should ask Peter. He and Ellie have been pretty tight lately. He got pissed and left, and when Ellie found out, she was furious.
Now you're spoiling my chances too. Okay, what's up with you and boys? Don't you find them cute and fun?
I find them useless and annoying, and I don't know why you're dying to be with one. You're too young anyway. Just stay away from them. But she'd never do that. One evening, I realized that I'd left some important notes in my locker, and I had to go back to school to get them. Just then, I heard a beautiful voice from the boys' locker room. I took a peek through the door and saw someone singing along with his guitar. It was Parker, the quiet millionaire who joined school a week ago and had all the girls drooling. I stood there quietly and continued to listen until he stopped and looked right at me.
So do you like it?
Oh God, he saw me. It didn't make my ears bleed, so I guess it was all right.
You're the famous man-hater, aren't you? I'm flattered to have you as a fan, but I'll have to give you my autograph another time. I don't have a pen right now.
Oh, that's too bad. I want to cry, but I left my hanky at home.
I'd offer you mine, but it's full of boogers. Anyway, what are you doing here so late?
I got bored and decided to find my Prince Charming here at school, and you?
Same reason. I was waiting for someone as pretty as you to secretly listen to me as I sing.
So is this the part where we fall in love and start dating?
No! I think we should get married right away and have kids!
Suddenly I noticed his boots. They were covered with mud. You know, there's a reason I stay away from boys, and I'm certain you're no different. With that, I walked away. This Parker seemed really full of himself. And to my dismay, I found out a few days later that he was being paired with me as the lead in the school play. But he seemed more disappointed than me.
Ma'am, can't we choose someone else to play the heroine's part?
What's your problem? Why are you trying to get me out of the play?
Because I don't want to play the part with a girl who's allergic to boys. We'll have no chemistry.
I don't have to like you to be good at acting. I can fake chemistry.
There's a kissing scene. You sure you're up for it?
Yeah, I'm a professional and we don't need to practice it. We can just do it on the day of the play.
Fine by me. I'm an expert anyway.
We started rehearsing soon with Lily as my understudy, but her main role seemed to be flirting with Parker. And he was just as annoying as any boy I'd ever met. He was late for rehearsals, he was always eating on set and making a mess, and he had to take 100 breaks. But I had to admit he was a good actor and was perfect for the part. A few days later, we were doing a dress rehearsal, and soon after wearing my costume, my back really started to itch. I somehow made it through my part and then rushed to the dressing room. I looked at my back in the mirror at the huge, ugly burn mark I've had since I've been in an accident when I was 8 years old. The costume's material had really irritated my scar, and it was all red and itchy. I took a picture in the mirror to send to my skin doctor and then quickly changed into my clothes. But as I picked up my phone again, I realized that I'd sent the picture to freaking Parker.
Oh my god!
Feeling panicked, I texted him that I sent the picture by mistake, but he never replied. I just slipped out and headed home, feeling really worried. I was certain that jerk would show it to everyone, especially Lily. But the next day when I went to school, no one was looking at me weirdly or talking about me. No one brought it up at all. Later, I spotted Parker by himself in the hallway and I walked over to him. Hey, listen, thank you for not sharing that picture with anyone. I know I'm an ugly freak.
What picture?
The one I sent you yesterday.
I'm pretty sure you didn't see our chat. No picture here.
He looked up at me and smiled, and I found myself smiling back.
Wow, that's the first time I've seen you smiling. I don't think you should do that. It's not a great look on you.
I just rolled my eyes and walked away. Okay, he wasn't a jerk, but he was still annoying. But it was nice of him to pretend he didn't receive the picture to not embarrass me. When the day of the play finally came, I was super excited. Our performances were going really smoothly. Well, until the kissing scene.
What are you doing? You're supposed to kiss me now?
Yeah, I know that. I'm just getting ready.
It's just a kiss. Kiss me, Skylar.
Fine.
I put my hands on his face and my heart was racing as our lips touched. I felt something I'd never felt before, and I was kind of disappointed when he pulled away and started saying his next dialogue. Back at home, Ellie couldn't stop teasing me about the kiss and our chemistry on stage, which I completely denied and slammed the door in her face. But I couldn't stop thinking about the kiss all night. Was I catching feelings for Parker? But the next morning, I forgot all about it when I went down for breakfast and found Mom crying. Mom, what's wrong? What happened?
I'm going to lose the pet house.
It turned out that Mom had taken a big loan a while back from an investment company to keep the pet shop running. But lately, she hadn't been able to make the payments on time. And now the company was demanding that she pay it immediately. And the investment company belonged to Lily's dad.
I'll have to sell the pet house. It's not been doing well for a while, and I'm just not making enough.
But Mom, you love it. Everyone in the neighborhood loves it. It's been around for 30 years. There has to be a way we can save it.
I don't think there is, honey.
I felt really heavy-hearted when I went to school that day. I was sitting alone on the bleachers at recess when suddenly Parker joined me.
What's up with your face today?
And to my horror, I started to cry! I buried my face in my arms as I sobbed, and I felt Parker putting his arm around me.
Hey, what's going on? Do you want to talk about it?
And I found myself telling him everything. When I was done, he handed me his hanky and looked at me.
I might have a solution for your problem.
What? What do you mean?
I guess you don't know that Lily's dad and my dad are business partners. They both own that investment company. I'll talk to my dad today and ask him to make the loan payments easier for you guys. I don't want you to lose that pet shop. It seems like it means a lot to you.
Do you really mean that? Will your dad agree?
He will, I promise.
I was so thrilled that I threw my arms around him in a bear hug. He hugged me too, and we just stayed like that for a while. Parker, did you just smell my hair?
What? No, I didn't.
Why are you helping me?
Because I'm not a jerk.
Is that all?
Yeah, don't worry. I wouldn't fall for someone who's decided to hate boys for all eternity.
Well, maybe I don't hate you. Parker's face suddenly lit up, and he drew me close and kissed me, and it felt amazing. True to his word, Parker talked to his dad, and Mom was ecstatic when the company told her they changed their decision. And Parker and I, well, much to everyone's surprise and Lily's anger, we started dating. I couldn't believe I had a boyfriend. Prom came around a few months later, and when Ellie and I reached school, I spotted Parker from afar looking so cute. I walked up to him and was about to kiss him when he suddenly stopped me.
Hey, Skylar, wait, there's something I need to talk to you about.
Okay, why the serious face? He led me out of the hall and then he spoke.
Listen, I hate that I'm ruining prom for you, but I just have to tell you now our company is facing some losses and Lily's dad is insisting that we collect all outstanding loans, so I'm afraid your mom will have to make the full payment very soon. I am so sorry.
I felt the ground slip beneath my feet. Are you kidding me? You promised and now you're just breaking it just like that.
It's not my decision, Skylar. I don't own the company.
Then maybe it wasn't your promise to make either. Did you just do it to get together with me? To win me over, and you never really meant it?
What are you talking about? Of course, I meant it. I tried to help you. Can't you at least see that?
No, all I can see is that you gave us false hope. I would have been better if you hadn't. Why is everyone so disappointing?
Well, maybe your standards are too freaking high.
Well, maybe I'm just better off alone. I stormed out of there in angry tears. I'd made a mistake believing a stupid boy, and even a bigger mistake of falling for him. High school had come to an end, and Ellie and I helped Mom pack up the shop over the summer. It broke our hearts to lose it, but there was nothing we could do. One day, as Ellie and I were going back home, we walked past a cafe where I spotted several kids from school, including Parker and Lily, and she was clinging onto his arm. Ellie saw my face and said,
You don't know they're together, Skylar.
I'm pretty be sure that they are, and I really don't care. I went off to university to study drama and theater, and I was having an amazing time. I made loads of cool friends, yes, even guys, and I realized I've been foolishly stubborn to think they were all bad. Sometimes I even regret it being so hard on Parker and driving him away. He was just a high school kid like me back then, and it wasn't his fault that we lost our pet shop. Soon after graduation, I went back home to attend Ellie's wedding. Her husband seemed a lot more sensible than Dad, and she seemed really happy, and I was happy for them. Later that night, someone rang the doorbell, and I was shocked when I opened the door.
Hello, Skylar.
Standing outside was Parker. Hi, what are you doing here?
I've been in touch with Ellie. She said you were coming back for her wedding. I really wanted to talk to you.
I stepped out onto the porch, and he said something completely unexpected.
You know, I never forgot about that burn scar on your back.
My scar? That's what you want to talk about?
Yeah, I've never stopped thinking about how you saw yourself with it or how painful it must be for you. I found an amazing skin surgeon and he can fix it, Skylar. And if you agree to go for it, I'd like to pay for the surgery.
But why are you doing this?
I swear I'm only doing it as a friend. I know I let you down all those years ago, and now that I can make some decisions on my own, I want to do this.
I stopped being mad at you a long time ago, Parker. You don't have to do this.
I want to. Please don't say no.
After a lot of thinking, I agreed. I underwent the surgery a week later, and when I woke up, Parker was by my side, smiling.
The doctor said it went great.
I can't thank you enough, Parker. I really owe you.
No, you don't. Well, I'll accept a cup of coffee.
It's a date?
Is it?
Maybe. I sat up in bed and pulled Parker towards me in a hug.
Hi, I'm Nicoleta from Romania, and I'm here to tell you something you probably aren't aware of. Each one of you has the power to change people, even the jerk ones. But before I continue, please like and subscribe. People in my little town thought that I was the cutest girl with red hair, and they completely doted on me. Everyone would notice me wherever I went and would start talking and laughing with me. Yes, I enjoyed it, but honestly, sometimes it got overwhelming. One day when I was 3, I was at my neighbor's place, and her son put a paper crown on my head and offered me a horseback ride.
All hail Nicoleta, the Queen of Romania.
Just then, his jealous little demon sister came running out of nowhere and pushed me off his back.
No, she's ugly.
Then she squirted glue in my hair. I pushed her and was about to attack her when my mom took me away. All evening, my parents cried and I tried to comfort them.
It's okay, Mom, Dad. It will grow back prettier than before. I promise.
Eventually, they just had to cut my hair. And it did grow back all lovely and thick in a few months. When I was 4, Mum started taking me to a small farm 2 hours away from our house, just to have my hair washed with goat's milk. That was insane. But being around sheep and goats was fun. I refused to let them wash my hair unless I milked the goat myself. It took me 4 hours though, but I did what I enjoyed. Dad's favourite thing was to spend every evening brushing out my shiny curls as we sat around the fireplace. But I only agreed if he read me stories. One day, Dad sent my picture for a modelling job, and I got accepted. I told my parents that I was only 5 and I had a childhood I wanted to enjoy. They promised the job wouldn't affect anything, and it would make them proud and happy. So I agreed, and just like that, I started modelling for the following years. By the time I was in 9th grade, I was a pretty popular hair model for all sorts of shampoos and hair products. But I never enjoyed having makeup slapped on my face and posing in front of a camera. One day, I was determined to tell my parents that I was done. But then Dad got off the phone with my agent, saying that there was an audition for the role of the Little Mermaid.
Mom, Dad, I'm just done with all this. Please just let me live the life I want, not the one you want.
With that, I stormed off to my room. And no, I didn't go to that audition. Months later, Dad said I got an acting job offer in LA. I knew there was no use protesting, but I thought to myself that the States is the land of freedom, and the moment I would arrive there, I would be more free. And just like that, we'd flown across the world and settled in LA. It was really different from anything back home, but all I was thinking about was school. I wanted to do well so I could study law in college. As I walked down the hallway on my first day of school, suddenly someone came rushing straight at me on skateboard. The only thing I could register was the most beautiful pair of blue eyes before we both rolled onto the floor. For a minute, we gazed into each other's eyes as my heart beat furiously. Someone slammed a locker door somewhere, and we both snapped into reality. He jumped to his feet and I held out my hand.
Oh, sorry,
He smiled and took my hand to help me up.
Yeah, I'm sorry too for not pushing you harder, ketchup head.
And with that, he let go and I fell back on my butt. He just smirked and skated away. I stared at him in disbelief.
What an A-class jerk!
I really hoped I wouldn't have anything more to do with him, but to my horror, it turned out that he was in my class. I just knew he was going to make my life miserable. The teacher asked me to introduce myself and I stepped in front of the class.
Hello, everyone. My name is Nicoleta, and I'm from...
Before I could even finish, the boy burst out laughing.
What planet are you from? Do all the aliens there have hair like Elmo's fur? And does everyone talk like they're stupid?
Jack, that's no way to talk to a girl.
That's no way to talk to anyone. I've never met anyone as what do you call it?
Handsome, breathtaking, dreamy?
As rude? As rude as you. And don't make fun of my accent. I'm proud of where I come from.
Wow. Now your face is as red as your hair. Do all ketchup heads get this angry?
Only if they meet stupid people like you.
Someone from the back called out.
Geez, get a room, guys.
What room? I'm new here. Can someone guide me?
Oh yeah, I will.
Everyone started laughing as he got up. I didn't really understand what was so funny, but the teacher was banging on the table to make everyone quiet.
Jack, that's enough. You'll be staying back for detention today.
Tell me something new.
The teacher glared at him, but decided to ignore him for the rest of the lesson. Later at lunch, I found out from all the girls that Jack was the bratty son of some rich businessman, and he was just always getting into trouble.
But even the principal doesn't really say anything because his parents are big donors. I'd be a bit worried if I was you. You seem to be his next target.
I'm not scared of some stupid jerk boy.
Just then, Jack walked over to my table with a blonde girl and said,
Here, a new friend. She speaks like a robot, but not like a ketchup head. Maybe more like a mustard head. Listen, I have to be honest here. You guys do have a beautiful accent. See? I can be nice. How about a kiss?
I felt my temper flaring up again and rose from the bench to punch his face. But before I could attack him, he turned around to leave, and I decided to let it go. The next day, I walked into the classroom for the chemistry lesson to find no one was there. It turned out that it had been shifted to the lab, and I was 15 minutes late by the time I finally found it.
Ah, Nicoleta, you must be the new student. We're doing the experiment in pairs, and the only person left is Jack.
I couldn't believe I was stuck with him. Things were going smoothly enough for a while, and when Jack handed me a beaker, our fingers touched for a second, and I could swear I felt sparks. I sneaked a glance at him to see that he was also looking at me.
Is there something you want to say?
Suddenly he came a little closer and my stomach did a few backflips. Was he going to kiss me?
I was just wondering, why do you breathe like a dragon? I can hear your nose whistling.
Ugh. Well, I can hear your face talking. So I guess we are even.
And with that, I stormed off to the teacher with my lab results. I was just done experimenting with this boy. For the next 2 years of high school, he kept being a jerk to me. He would call me names all the time or pull stupid pranks. I knew he was just trying to get a reaction out of me. And the best way to deal with bullies like him was to pretend he didn't exist. One day, when I was in the library, holding my head over a really puzzling math question, someone suddenly pulled my notebook away.
What are you crying over? Tomato Queen? Your sappy diary. Dear diary, Jack is so mean to me.
Give me back my notebook. I don't have time for your nonsense.
Seems like you're as stupid as you look. You've done the question all wrong.
Oh, yeah? And you're going to tell me how to do it right?
Since you're practically begging me for help, sure. I can't say no to a damsel in distress.
And with that, he just sat down and started scribbling away furiously in my notebook. A minute later, he threw the pen down.
And that's how it's done.
Give me that. Wait, what? That's actually the right answer.
I stared at his smug face in complete shock.
How come you're always getting such bad grades? Why do you let everyone think you're dumb?
That's none of your business.
But Jack, wouldn't your parents be really proud to know you're so smart?
Suddenly, Jack got up from his chair, looking furious.
What do you know about my parents? Nothing. They wouldn't care if I was as smart as Einstein. They're too busy fighting with each other to have any time for me. So just stay out of it. And I don't think you know anything about me.
And with that outburst, he stormed off. For the first time, I felt a bit sorry for him. A few days later, the teacher gave back the last math assignments of the term, and she slapped Jax on his desk.
Jack, you're going to have to repeat the school year. Now, I want to give you one last chance. I'll give you another assignment, and if you do well, I'll give you a passing grade.
Thanks, but no thanks. See you again next year.
I tried to stop myself, but I just couldn't.
Jack, you know you can do it. I can help with it. But I don't think you even need any help. Miss, he's practically a genius. He really doesn't deserve to fail this grade.
Everyone was staring at us now, and Jack looked livid.
No, I'm not. Who do you think you are, Ketchup Head? My guardian angel?
I just don't want you to be left behind, dude.
Why do you care? I don't want a second chance. Stop acting like Mother Teresa.
And with that, he stormed out of the room. What a stubborn idiot. When I went home that day, I had some shocking news waiting for me. Dad was really unwell and was given time off work. And to make matters worse, I found out that he'd gotten sick because our immigration status had been under threat for a few months, and he'd been trying to deal with it. If we lost the case, we'd have to go back to Romania. I felt devastated. I skipped the next few days of school to help Mom take care of Dad. But when I finally returned, I was taking some stuff out of my locker when I heard Jack behind me.
Oh no, you're back. My eyes were feeling so much better because they weren't hurting every day looking at your hair.
I started walking away, but he kept following me.
Come on, what's the big secret? Where were you? Growing tomatoes? Making ketchup?
If you must know, Dad has been working too hard lately, and he fell sick, so I was taking care of him.
Oh, I feel so sorry for your dad. Sorry that he has such a dumb, ugly daughter. And he brought her all the way from Romania and worked so hard just so she can have a good life. You made him sick, Ketchup Head. You make me sick too, actually.
He'd really stepped on a nerve and I snapped. I turned around and gave him a hard slap.
You're just a spoiled, ungrateful brat who's been given everything in this world, and you just want to waste it and make others miserable. To think I ever felt sorry for you, I hate you. And don't worry, soon enough, you won't ever see me again.
I stormed off, and this time he didn't follow me. A few days later, we went to court to fight our immigration case, but to our dismay, the judge ruled against us. Just then, a well-dressed man came running into the courtroom.
Your Honor, I'd like to submit an appeal in this family's case. They deserve to stay here.
We just stared at the stranger, and he started firing some legal mumbo-jumbo and handed papers to the judge. And to our shock, the judge actually changed his decision and we won the case. We didn't have to leave. As we hugged each other, we turned to the man and thanked him over and over again.
But sir, if I may ask, who are you?
I'm your friend Jack's private family lawyer. The boy has been after me non-stop for the past few days to look into your family's case.
Oh my God, Jack! Did he really do that? I headed straight for school. After that, I looked everywhere and finally found him sitting alone on the bleachers. He looked stunned to see me as I sat down beside him.
Jack, why did you do that?
I don't know. Maybe because you tried to help me even though I've been nothing but a complete jerk to you. And maybe because I've had a crush on you from the start.
My face broke into a huge grin.
I always knew it! You like Ketchup Head!
With that, I pulled him in for a long, steamy kiss.
Hi, I'm Elena from Milan, Italia. Please like and subscribe. I grew up without a dad, but I had a rich mom who owned an international fashion brand. Well, that's also why my parents decided to get divorced, because he couldn't cope with her overambitious nature. But to be honest, I'm not that close with my mom. She doesn't have much time for me, and I usually see her once a month after her overseas trips, when she brings me a gazillion toys. I guess that was her way of making up for the absence, but I wasn't complaining. I spend a lot of time chatting with my stuffed penguin and acting out scenes from the stories I watch on the Luna avatar. But as I grew up, I started noticing how absent my mom was from my life. She rarely took me to school, and of course she'd miss important events there all the time. When I was in 5th grade, I was chosen to play Juliet because of my acting skills. I went home and proudly told my mom, "Mom, you have to be there that day!"
All right, sweetie, I promise.
Good night, good night. Parting is such sweet sorrow that I shall say good night till it be morrow. But by the time she reached school, the play was over.
I'm sorry, honey, I got stuck with something important.
I know, Mom, I can never be as important to you as your work.
Sweetheart, I'm doing this for you. One day this company will be yours.
I don't want to work for your stupid company. Mom, you see, my dream is to become an actress. My drama teacher says I have talent and could become as famous as Margot Robbie someday.
OMG, you're delusional. I'll talk to your teacher about putting such silly ideas into your head. Acting is for losers who've got nothing better to do.
You know, nothing happened because my mom was too busy with her fashion shows and had no time to argue anymore. But the acting bug in me never died. I joined the school's drama club and participated in all kinds of plays. Of course, Mom had no clue about it. Once, when I was 17, I was at the mall and noticed a girl who seemed to be following me. She trailed me from the hair salon to the ice cream shop, always giving me a glare. Thought something was fishy, so I cornered her when I got the chance. What's your problem? Did I do something wrong to you? Or if you want an autograph, just say so.
You're such a witch! Stop flirting with my crush!
She lunged at the girl standing next to me, and I felt more embarrassed than the statue of David.
First, he's not your boyfriend, and second, he's already agreed to go out with me. Grr, if a moron like you hadn't shown up, I would have had a happy relationship.
Hey, don't be so harsh, girl. After helping deal with the stalker, the girl treated me to pizza.
My name's Daisy. Thanks for your help.
Daisy told me about the relationship problem she was facing. She wanted to dump her boyfriend Leo because she'd fallen in love with her new neighbor. New neighbor? Is that the stalker's crush?
Yep.
Your love life is such a mess.
So do you have a BF?
Yes, of course. He's named Jackie. When we first met, it was raining, and he offered me his jacket, and since then I've called him Jackie E. I excitedly told Daisy about the boyfriend in my dreams. Well, by the way, I have a way to help you solve your problem. Pick up the phone and invite your Leo to dinner. Leo was supposed to take Daisy out on a date at a restaurant. Moments after they were seated, I catwalked in with a massive curly wig and the ugliest glasses. The love of my life! The apple pull up my eyes! You said you loved my thick curly hair. Then what are you doing with this witch with a boring ponytail?
Who are you? Do we know each other?
Oh, don't be so cruel, my coochie suo. I know I've put on 25 ounces, but I promised to put in the extra hours at the gym.
Stop it. Daisy, believe me, I've never met this girl before. She's lying.
Please don't dump me. I can accept you having 2 girlfriends, or I can switch to a ponytail. I'm willing to die for you, my precious, but don't call me liar. I know your favorite color is blue. You love dumplings. You still watch Popeye, and you fart when you sneeze. Daisy simply shook her head.
That doesn't prove anything.
I can't believe you've been cheating on me with this thing. I'm done with you.
With that, Daisy marched off before Leo could make sense of what had just happened. I quietly snuck out too. The next day at school, Daisy and I couldn't stop laughing about the whole thing. You're a liar! Don't call me liar.
Thanks. Your acting skills were so sick that Leo didn't try to contact me again. Now I have time to date my new neighbor at home.
On the other side, things were going from bad to worse between Mom and me. She wanted me to focus on studies, but my heart was in theater. I wanted to join an acting school in New York, but she just wouldn't let me. One morning after a heated argument with Mom, I was rushing to my class when I bumped into something rock solid. What the rock? You got buttons for eyes? I looked up and saw Leo.
Oh, I just transferred to this school because I find it hard to stay away from my girlfriend.
Daisy, huh? I thought you two had broken up?
No, I mean, wasn't I your coochie COO just a few days ago? Actually, you did me a favor too. I knew Daisy was going around with another guy while we were dating.
What? And you still dated her? Are you in that case?
Well, I was about to confront her that day, but you, my savior, made things easier. You put up a nice act, by the way.
He gave me a lopsided smile, and for some reason it made my heart flutter. He knew it was me. Leo was actually pretty cute. Then suddenly he was touching my long, silky hair.
Your hair is gorgeous! It's a shame you hid it behind that ugly wig that day!
I blushed and ran straight into the classroom. It felt completely different from the romantic scenes I had acted in. In the following days, I felt like Leo was intentionally bumping into me. I kept running into him in the auditorium, near the lockers, cafeteria, and restroom. Heck, he even agreed to play the role of a rock in the play I was participating in. Of course, that rock never spoke to me once. One day, as I was coming out of the library, I spotted him standing outside, whistling to himself. I felt extremely annoyed by that manner.
Are you stalking me? Let's talk, stupid rock!
I could say the same. You were the one falling all over me a few days back.
I angrily walked towards him to give him a piece of my mind, but I slipped on something and landed straight into his arms.
Oh, did you just fall? For me, again?
Before I could respond, he helped me get back on my feet and then gently pulled off the scrunchie I was wearing.
Your hair looks better this way. Free.
Then he simply turned around and left, leaving me stunned.
Oh, stop, Elena! You'll burn a hole in his shirt if you keep staring like that.
Whoa, you scared me, Daisy!
Wow, you really like him. Oh, sorry, you're still in character, aren't you?
What nonsense! He's not my type!
I would have never dumped him if you looked at me the way he was looking at you.
A week later, we had to go to the supermarket to perform our play, and I got my period on the bus. As I was getting off, Leo pulled me aside and wrapped his jacket around my waist. I rushed to the restroom and changed, and when I came out, I found him waiting outside. Even during the entire performance, he kept his gaze on me. Well, Daisy, it seems like I might be falling for Leo a little.
Yes, I knew it, and I know he feels the same about you. Let's ask him out this weekend.
This weekend's my mom's birthday. That weekend, Mom threw a grand party and invited her friends and business partners. It was such a boring party because everyone was being so fussy. But I had to for Mom's sake. As I sat in a corner sipping my juice, I heard a familiar voice.
Hey, actress! I thought there was nothing cool at a party like this.
But why are you here?
I'm here with my dad, and you?
This is my house. Then we chatted by the pool under the moonlight. Leo was smart and witty, and at one point I was about to ask him out when I noticed Mom gesturing to me to meet her outside.
Oh, my Elena, you look gorgeous, in the dress from my newest collection.
Cut the drama. Get to the point, Mom.
Leo is your friend, right? His dad owns a big retail chain. If we get a chance to collaborate, our company could really grow. You know what to do. Seduce him.
I almost told her that I was going to, but then I had an idea. Your company, not our company, and I don't like him.
Please, Elena, think about the business, and I want to see our products.
Okay, but then you'll allow me to apply to that acting school. Yeah, it's like catching two rabbits with one carrot. I can date Leo and pursue my dreams at the same time. The next day, Leo and I started dating. It was pure bliss. He was even better than I had imagined.
You called me a rock? Well, my heart is becoming like a rock because of your beauty.
You're so cheesy, but I like it. Then on my birthday, Leo planned a surprise party for me and invited the entire school. Leo showed up with a huge present. Oh, darling, it's so huge. Let me guess. It's a vase, a stuffed bear, or maybe a guinea pig.
Open it, you'll be surprised.
What? Inside the gift box was just an envelope. I carefully unfolded it. My face turned white when I saw the papers it contained. It was the contract that said his dad's company will be my mom's company's buyer. What the heck?
We performed really well, didn't we, Elena? The goal has been achieved, so we can drop the actress act now.
Leo, I don't understand.
Okay, let me explain, friends. Elena was dating me so she could use me to get my mom to promote her mom's business. I just made her wish come true. That's not true. You know what? I've had enough of your lies. I'm breaking up with you, Elena. Think of this as a parting gift.
Leo left, leaving me completely humiliated. I had to pretend nothing happened to keep everyone from laughing at me. On the way home, I cried as I walked. I had always been confident in my acting skills, but it turned out I was just a fool in my own love scenario. When I got home, I threw the envelope straight at my mom's face.
Hey!
We've achieved our plan. Why don't we throw a party tomorrow? My mom opened the envelope and was thrilled.
Okay, sweetie, time for celebration. Besides Leo, is there anyone else you'd like to invite?
Do whatever you want. We broke up, and tonight I'm going to New York. The acting school accepted my application.
Please don't go, I'll talk to him.
You'll do no such thing! This is the first time I'm leaving home for a foreign city. Not only does it help me forget everything, but it also brings me closer to my dream university. In a few years, my hard work paid off, and I became a popular actress. I even landed the lead role in an upcoming Marvel film. Then one day, I got a call from Mom's doctor who told me her health was deteriorating fast. I rushed back home immediately and found Mom in bed, looking so frail that it shook me.
Mom, why did you say you were okay?
I didn't want to bother you, just like how you didn't bother me before. I always thought you were wasting your time with acting, but you've proven me wrong. I'm sorry.
Mom, don't leave me alone!
Don't worry, she was exhausted from work and prolonged stress. But fortunately, we got her to the hospital in time.
I spent my life running after money, and I didn't value the priceless gift life had given me.
I hugged Mom, and it felt amazing. The next day, I went to her office and found out Mom's business had been falling apart for months. But there was one company still buying her products that kept her from completely going bankrupt. Leo's. I decided to meet him and thank him personally. When I went to his office, my heart skipped a beat seeing how handsome he looked.
Elena, it's been a while. You're just as beautiful as ever.
I still feel that spark, something I haven't found with anyone else but Leo. Hey, I just wanted to say thank you for helping with my mom's business. But I'm curious, why did you do it? Especially after humiliating me in front of everyone at the birthday party 5 years ago?
Actually, I overheard the conversation between you and your mom at the party, where she asked you to date me. I really love you, but I thought you were just playing a part. I was heartbroken, feeling like the only girl I'd truly loved was messing with my feelings. After all, Daisy told me everything, but it was too late. You had already left. It was all my fault, my selfishness. Maybe it would have been better if I'd just been a rock.
You loved me still, do? Suddenly my heart started racing like never before. Then how about we start all over again?
Done deal. But first I want to do something I've been dying to do since you walked in that door.
Leo leaned closer, and just when I thought he'd kiss me, he pulled off my scrunchie and we both started laughing.